Hello and welcome to Jana's Kitchen, and we're going to be working on a dish today called lumpia, and it is a delicious, it's like an egg roll, and we're going to use egg roll wrappers, not wonton. Wonton are like this big, but we're using the full-size egg roll wraps. Depending upon the community that you live in, you might be able to actually find lumpia wrappers because they're a little bit thinner than these are. But we're going to go ahead and use these because they're available in every store, the big box stores and everything. So you can easily find these. So I've started already, so to save time. Green onions. They're also called scallions. And I always go through, I cut off, the tops were kind of shaggy on these today. They weren't super fresh or hadn't been kept hydrated. And I always go through and remove anything that's aged or wilting or doesn't look good. And I've already cleaned these. I just run them under cold water. Get any sand or dirt off of them. And you can dry them off with a paper towel. And then I just slice them very thin. Oopsie. I go through and just slice very thin. And I do use both of the whites and the green tops for this dish. These are so good to eat. It's a meal that you can make ahead of time and just have them in Ziplocs in the refrigerator. And I warm them up in the oven for leftovers. My family takes them to work for lunches. It's wonderful. So I'm going to put these aside on the plate for just a minute. That just saves some time for you. Not to have to watch me do all those. And I've got, in my little garlic chopper here, I've got 3 cloves of garlic, because we really like garlic. If you don't like garlic, you know what to do. Just leave it out. And this has like razor blades on the bottom, and it gets it super thin. And so I'm going to go ahead and shred these very finely. There. And then I go through with my knife, and I get them to size. You can hear my oil in the background heating up there. My electric skillet. You can use a fry pan, but I've got my electric skillet one because it keeps it at a constant temperature. There, so I've got those all minced up. I'm going to add that to my little pile of green onions over here. There we go. So now I've got some ground pork. This is 1 pound of ground pork. I had bought, there was a big sale this winter on pork butts. And so I just bought, it was like 89 cents a pound or something crazy. And so I bought them, brought them home, and just put them in my foods processor and chopped them so that I could use them for this, dan noodles, all kinds of Chinese things. Or I can add breakfast sausage seasoning to it, make my own breakfast sausage patties. So I like to do that. If you see those pork butts on sale, go ahead and grab you one. I'm going to give you the recipe for 1 pound. I am making 2 pounds because we eat leftovers at our house. And so I'm going to tell you the recipe. 1 pound of ground pork. And it calls for 5 green onions. So you can tell I've got a little more than that, but I'm telling you the recipe for 1 pound. And there's our garlic in there. Mash those in there. This is such a fast recipe. And you can buy ground pork at the grocery store as well. All right, see, got those in there. I'm going to take my handy dandy gloves off for a second because I'm going to be handling some containers. And so now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of soy sauce. And this is a light soy sauce. You don't want dark soy sauce or sweet soy sauce. You just want light soy sauce. I could have taken the top off, but we'll get it. There we go. You didn't see the second one going in because remember I'm making a double batch. And this is the only salt that you're putting in here, so for all that pork. And plus you want the flavoring. We're going to add in 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. I love these little magnetic measuring spoons that I have. There's the 2 teaspoons. Now you're not seeing these two for the 2 pounds. Because sesame oil is very strong. And I like to use toasted sesame oil, but you find whatever one you like. If you like spicy, and our family likes spicy, not too hot. My husband likes it, but not too hot. Here is a hot chili oil. And I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in. And then I'm going to add some white pepper. You're going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon. And it is hotter than black pepper. I'm going to probably sneeze because I always do with pepper. And I've got to sneeze. Thank goodness for white pepper. And this is, I had chopped up fresh garlic. You can use this, but I just don't think for some reason that anything in a jar or a tube tastes as garlicky. Maybe it's just me, but you do whatever you have. You can add to this, depending on your family, you can choose to add fresh mushrooms. You can finely chop up fresh mushrooms. I didn't happen to have any today. So I have shiitake mushroom powder. So that'll give me the flavor of mushrooms. So in that goes. I'm gonna grab my handy dandy glove. And we're going to mix this up. You can use a spoon, but I like God's favorite tools. See how fast? So basically your dinner is just about ready. All we have to do is wrap them up. So I'm going to finish mixing this up. You want to stir it with your fingers really well to get that soy sauce mixed in. And you can, the traditional lumpia has carrots in it, but we have someone in our house who loves carrots, but they're allergic to carrots, so we don't put it in ours. But you can grate some delicious fresh carrots in there. There we go, and we will be right back, and I'm going to show you how to roll these. Okay, I was going to tell you that some people in our family really love water chestnuts. And so with part of my meat mixture, pork mixture, I'm going to add a can of water chestnuts. I drained them off. And then I'm just, even though these are diced ones, you can get whole diced, whatever, because you're going to chop them up anyway. And you're going to want to chop them not too fine. And then add these to your pork mixture. You can do it to all of it. And just mix that in, and that gives a little extra crunch. And if there's anything else that your family really likes for these Asian delights, it's just yummy, yummy, yummy. So there we go. And now we're going to finish rolling up our lumpia. Okay, welcome back. We're getting ready to wrap some lumpia. And so I've got a dish. I'm going to crack an egg, And I'm going to break the yolk, give it a little whip it good. Hope they don't tag me for using a music lyric. I would sing it for you, but I would hurt your ears. And you can just use water too to seal these up. So there we go. I always kind of have a little method that I do, but you do it your way. You probably just want to do one of them to start with till you get the hang of it. And see, there's a short way and there's a long way. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the long way to do these. This is a Saturday, so we've got family here at home. And so you're going to hear people coming and going, but we're a family, so it is what it is. And I am going to take not that much, about the size of a half a hot dog, and put that in each one. And this is the meal. This is, you can do them smaller and use them as an appetizer. So I'm not stingy with the meat because it is a meal. Okay, and so when I get them in there, I just kind of pat it forward because these have to fry and I don't want that meat to be uncooked or raw. So I kind of pat it forward then. You can put less meat in if you choose to, but I always leave a little room at the edge that I don't put anything on because that I'm going to fold over. So just like this. Does not have to be perfect. These are very rustic. I'm going to grab, you can use your finger like this, but I'm going to do something quicker. I have a silicone brush that I like to use, and I do 3 sides with the egg wash or water. I've got my oil behind me at 365 degrees. But you can do, because I know that it's going to cool down as soon as I put these in. And so how I do it is I take the sides and I roll them up to the first little bit of meat. You don't want to go real thick, but just enough, like that. So that egg wash acts as a glue. And this is something fun. I've had my kids making crab rangoons and egg rolls and lumpia. And that's a great project for kids. And when I say kids, you know your child, if they're ready for something like this, following directions and training them, because eventually it will pay off. It's easier to do yourself at first maybe, but trust me, you want your children to know how to cook. And then I roll them up, just like that. And the bottom's already sealed. And then I put them on some parchment paper or a non-stick cookie sheet. Just like that. These are so good too. And then I'm going to show you how to make dipping sauce. And I'm even going to come back and teach you how to make a few crab rangoons. Except I didn't get any crabs, so they're going to be cream cheese wontons. But all you have to do is add the crab to make them crab rangoon. Most people might know them by that. So just like that. We will be right back, and I'm going to finish these up, and we'll be back to show you how to fry them. All right, well, welcome back, and we are going to work on some cream cheese wontons. And so I got some little small wontons, much smaller than the big egg roll wrapper ones. Get those ready to go here for us. I just wanted to show you before I cut the package open. And of course, we're going to add some more green onions to this cream cheese. I've got one package of 8-ounce package of Philadelphia cream cheese. And I have it at room temperature because it sure makes it a whole lot easier to mix it up. You can microwave it on medium for just a few minutes too. And I'm going to just finely mince these, both the whites and some greens. I'm going to take those off. They dried out just in a few minutes. I had them out of the refrigerator. And get those finely minced. So good. All right. So, one package of the original. I've got cream cheese. Clear up my workspace here. Get rid of that. I'm going to add these onions. Sorry about my elbow there. And I've got some more grated garlic, and I'm going to mince that up. We like garlic. If you don't like garlic, you don't have to put it in. This is such, like I said before with the egg rolls, or the egg roll wrappers, are fun projects to have your tweens do, upper elementary. It would be a great project for them to learn. I think our kids were all in grade school when they started helping me make all of these. Sorry about the noise. And I'm going to add got a big piece of onion on my hand there. 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. And I have Chinese 5-spice powder. You can find this at any grocery store for the most part. And I'm going to add this has a lot of different seasoning. I don't want that much. I'm just trying to, just a light sprinkle. There we go. Take a fork and mash it, mash it, mash it. I'm going to add just a little bit of soy sauce. Just a second here, I forgot to bring it over here. Light soy sauce, just about a teaspoon. You don't want to make it too brown, maybe even a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to pour a little bit of that off. I do a lot by eyeball. Because if you put too much soy sauce in, guess what? You don't have white cream cheese, you have brown cream cheese. Here, just like that. So simple. And just similar to what we did with the lumpia, we have the same type of dough. I got them all laid out here. I'm going to leave this space for my workspace. You can use either water, or you put it all the way around. Take 2 spoons, put a little dabble-do-ya right in the middle. Now this is interesting. There's several ways you can do these. You can do them just like this, where you pinch each corner. This is how some of the restaurants do it. They pinch each corner. So it looks like that, and it's open on top. And then you start to bring it together and bring it together. And then you have like the restaurants do. Open that side, there we go. And I'm going to show you how quickly these fry up. I've got my oil at 350 over here. I'm trying to not turn my fan on because that makes it really noisy. And these are going to be super, super fast. I just use my electric skillet when I'm going to be doing these lumpia, but I wanted to show you how quickly these cook. You can already start to see them turning brown. Look at that. I'm going to turn it upside down for just a second. And remember, everything inside just needs to get warmed. It doesn't need to cook. Look, that is basically done. So maybe 15 or 20 seconds and those are done. And so I'm going to now show you that we're going to put our lumpia in while I'm wrapping up the rest of my crab rangoons. I leave just a little bit of space. Between them so the oil can get in between there. I love my big electric skillet. I've had an electric skillet since I was 18 years old. Which is a long time ago. This is my birthday week. I had a birthday this week. And one of my favorite foods is anything Asian. I don't care what country it comes from in Asia. I like it. So there we go. And these are going to cook. All depends upon what you're cooking them in or whatever until they're golden brown, and then you roll them over and with your tongs. And you want to try to avoid any holes in them, so you don't want anything sharp. I'm going to make a little more space between these. And turn it up a little bit because it cools down, the oil cools down. And we're going to be doing some more meals coming up in the future here. We're going to be doing some easy meals for after work, before you go to mid-week church, you know, those days, or before ball games, before football games. You know, the busy, busy life that families have. So we're going to be working on bringing you some of our family favorites from when our children were young. Just some classics. Just good old American cooking. And things you can do ahead of time and have it ready, so you dash in and dash out, things you can pre-do on the weekends. You can see those are starting to go, but remember we've got that raw pork inside, and so we're going to want these to be a nice golden brown before we pull them out of there. And so we'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to wrap up some more of these cheese wontons. All right, we've got our lumpia all ready to go. Time to take them out of the oil. I drain mine on a rack because that way they don't get soggy on the bottom. With paper towels can make them soggy, so I just use a wire rack. And here they come off. Look how good these are. And you can eat them fresh and hot, or you can eat them at room temperature. My husband and daughter, they'll microwave them at work for just a few seconds. So that's how easy lumpia are. And so now I'm going to put in the rest of our lumpia and we'll be back. Oh, look at these. We are getting these cream cheese wontons. We folded these in the triangles. And see how when they start to You can see them here, like when they start to turn golden on the sides, that is when you turn them. And then it doesn't take very long for the other side. These probably cook a total of maybe 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And then it all depends upon the temperature of your oil. And do watch out, because if there is a hole, they will pop that hot cream cheese all over your face. So you might want your children and yourself to keep your face back when these are cooking, because that hurts. Experience speaking. I have been cooking these since about 1982, 1983, and it was always our children's favorite. We lived a long ways away from an Asian restaurant. First we had them real close, and then when we moved from my husband's job, we didn't have an Asian restaurant close to us, and oh my goodness, we missed being able to go for wontons. When I was pregnant with my first child, I would stop at the Asian store or at the Asian restaurant, and I would get pork wontons, and they came in a little paper lunch bag for $2, and there was 12 of them in there for $2. And by the time my car pulled into our apartment, they were gone. That was my after a long day at work snack. You can see how beautifully brown these are. And I'm draining them on a rack, because if you drain them on paper towels, they are going to get soggy. But if paper towels is the only thing you have, then it'll have to do. And we're going to come back in just a minute. I'm going to do some dipping sauces. We'll see you in just a second. Okay, we wanted to show you one of our favorite things my daughter just reminded me of. We had some extra Eggroll wrappers, and we're not planning on making anything with them in the next week or so. And we take them and we put them in the hot oil when we're finished cooking our wontons and our lumpia. I had some extra of the wonton wrappers, and so you can put those in there, and they make the best little crackers, just like this. And they're so good, and they're crispy. Oh, just like those little crackers you get at the Asian restaurant to put in your soup. Sorry about the crunch. I don't eat on camera very often, but that's irresistible. You don't have to put anything on them, but you can. They're delicious. See how they puff up? Crunch, crunch. Look at that. See the bubble there? You want that. It's so good. Just keep your oil hot. When it's done, just use some of your leftovers in there. And you can put those in a little baggie and eat them as a snack. Don't want to waste them. They're so good. See how brown they're getting on the edges? That's telling you it's about time to flip them. And you can flip them back over again. Those little bubbles in there, oh my goodness, they're so good. Look at that. All right, we'll be back, and I'm going to finish these up. Okay, look at, we have our delicious lumpia and our cream cheese wontons. Now we have to have something to dip them in. And everybody likes something different. I'm going to put one of our serving dishes will have a sweet sour sauce. This is my favorite, is a Thai sweet chili sauce. Doesn't matter, there's lots of brands out there. Ooh, yes, I'm going to need all that. And then we're going to do one with equal parts of light soy sauce. There we go. That's 1/8 of a cup, which is 2 tablespoons. And some black vinegar. That's like the dipping sauce you get at some of the restaurants. Oh, so good. Whoopsie. I'll wash that before I put that back on. And then we have some sesame oil. I'm going to put a little bit of sesame oil in that. And then I'm going to put a little hint of garlic. I can't tell you how I love this garlic shaver. You can hear my golden retrievers, Jack and Bailey, are wagging their tail. And they're hitting the cupboards because they're happy dogs. And Bailey's my little ratatouille. He just loves to watch me cook. He doesn't expect anything. I never give them food from the counter. And I'm going to hit this with just a touch of hot chili oil. Just a touch. There. And then I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do another one with just a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of white pepper, and you can use the chili paste, the garlic chili paste, and you can use sambuk. I can't say it. I'm not going to fake it. I just don't know how to say it. I'm going to grab something else I forgot out of my pantry here. I have a sweet soy sauce, which is a lot thicker, as you can see. And I forgot one more thing. There's a lot to remember in this, but I'm doing lots of things for showing you. A little bit of sugar in there. We stir that up. There we go. We're going to mix this up. There we go. Put a spoon in our sweet sour sauce. You can get the teriyaki out. You can do whatever. So I'm going to show you what I like to do. I forgot to get my hot mustard out. That's what I like too. I have so many ingredients. And I'm going to use this one. I'm going to get a little bit of sweet sour sauce. And I'm going to take a lumpia and I'm going to dip it in. This is mine for my plate. I should use a plate and be a good example. There is that. And then I like to go over to that soy sauce and chili oil and vinegar. And I'm going to put just a touch there. You can hear the crunchy outside and you can hear the soft inside, I hope. And I don't like to eat on camera, but that is the inside. It's nicely cooked. Everything's cooked through and it's absolutely delicious. And then there is a crab rangoon, or not crab rangoon because we didn't put crab in them today. Cream cheese wonton. And so you can use that. And whatever you like or nothing at all. And then those are going to be our dinner tonight. That's our meal tonight. You can serve it with a nice salad. I might even add a little wonton wrap to it. And so we're going to come back in just a minute and show you our final plating.